I'm Dan Buckland. I'm Agency Director of Marketing and Comms Agency Brandcast Health, and I'm happy to host this big debate right now. So we're going to find out who's going to win the crown of customer engagement. Customer engagement is super important to all of us right now. It's probably the number one objective. With more customer engagement becomes more opportunities to learn about customers, to get more insights, to bring them into our ecosystem so that we can talk about how our products or services might benefit them for patient outcomes. And it's really difficult to do because clinicians are super busy, they're often burned out, a lot of them don't trust industry, they're tired of promotional content, so we do have a big engagement issue because it costs a lot of money to get this engagement. So the big question is, who's going to drive that change? Who's going to drive optimal customer engagement for pharma and healthcare professionals? Should we be taking a human-centered approach? Should we be focusing on using our people, like our field teams, to drive a human-centered customer engagement? Or should we be letting digital take the lead? Should we be allowing technology, digital processes, and tools to lead the way with customer engagement? Well, the good news is that you're going to find out, because we have two competitors, one fighting on the side of human-centered interaction, and the other fighting on the side of digital. And you guys are going to decide who's going to be the winner of the debate. So let me introduce the contenders. So on my right-hand side, on your left, I would like to introduce the person who's going to fight for human beings. Okay? This is MSD's Director of Pharma and Commercial Operations. Woo! A big hand for Erasmus Holm! You feeling confident, Erasmus?
I'm feeling probably overconfident.
Okay, good.
Like Godzilla close to any coastal city.
Okay, very good.
We're going to destroy.
You ready to meet your opponent?
Absolutely.
Okay, so on the other side, fighting for digital, we have Novartis' Global Head of Marketing Excellence. It's Marco Andre. Welcome to the stage, Marco.
Thank you, thank you.
Are you ready for the battle?
Yeah, he's much taller than me, but yes,
I know. The good news is this is not a battle of physique. It's a battle of the mind. Okay. All right. So let me just explain to you how this is going to work. So first of all, I think we can take a quick poll to find out what everybody else thinks. So if you guys can use the app, and based on your current thinking, who do you think should, or what do you think should drive customer engagement? Should it be digital, or should it be human-centered engagement? So please take that vote now, and we'll kind of let that roll for a minute and see who has the advantage at the start of the debate. So looking like humans.
Looking like this is going to be fun.
Yeah, it is looking quite fun. It is. So, okay, so let me just explain the rules real quick. I'm going to ask each contestant 4 questions. First, I'll ask the first person a question. The other person will get a chance to respond. I want you guys to listen really, really carefully. It's clear that we have an advantage for the human-centered engagement right now, but please listen to the arguments, see if it changes your mind, and we can see if, Erasmus, you can have you can take the crown, or whether you can make an impact on the current results. So, okay, we're going to start with the first question about customer engagement. So we're going to start at the very beginning. If you want to attract healthcare professionals into your commercial ecosystem, you have to understand them. You have to get insights about them, and then you have to attract them into your ecosystem. Some people will call this consent capture or lead generation, but there has to be some initial interaction and engagement. So we'll take the first question to the human beings. Why should human beings be the ones to allow attraction of healthcare professionals to pharma commercial?
Well, I'm sure that my Skynet colleague will have great arguments later on, but of course there's a reason why that we're in this room, right? Right, we're here in this room because we want to meet face to face. We want to build relationships. We as human beings understand nuances that any AI, any robot, or any Terminator doesn't understand yet. It's very clear, right? We understand that kind of nuances. And also, before Mr. Data brings you all the data, I'm going to give you the data, and which is that 82% of HCPs prefer personalized insights delivered by real people. 75% of HCPs prefer in-person engagement for learning about new products, preferring or leading to stronger relationships. And human-led interactions convert 47% better than digital-only approaches. So I'm not even sure why we're standing here, honestly. Right? So it's human expertise goes beyond data, goes beyond digital, and builds trust. That's why it should be human-led.
And it sounds like that first engagement with a human is the one that's going to really build that trust straight away. So you actually like some fast punches pulled before the timer even run out there. So Marco, I'll give you a chance to respond. Like, why do you think that digital is the way to attract healthcare professionals to our ecosystems?
So my esteemed colleague has actually presented very compelling data. And I absolutely agree that we prefer to be in this room. We prefer to be here talking with people. Now, the question is, how often do we have the time to do that? And I don't think it's different with our HCP. So let me give you an example. Taking meeting notes. How many of you that after this are going to take a meeting note that you probably won't remember, is going to give you a lot of admin time, and you're going to spend so much time doing that when you can actually spend that time on having a human interaction? So if you're talking about this part, I think, yes, absolutely agree, human connection is much better. But I wonder, how much time do we have, and how much time do our HCPs have to have that human connection when they're spending a lot of their time on admin work that at the end doesn't add a lot of value and doesn't foster that human connection?
So it's an interesting fight there. Like, I've heard some good reasons for and against having the first interaction, either human or digital. So I'm going to move to the next stage. And this is potentially, for most of you guys, the most important stage of engagement. And that is customer acquisition and growth. So you may have consent capture, subscribers, people engaging with your brand all over the place. But really, it's important to get that first time use of the product. Someone becomes a customer for the first time. And then you've also got to work with them to help build confidence so they use that product more confidently, more frequently, and that, of course, drives revenue for you guys. So why is it that digital should be the lead process in driving first customer acquisition and growth?
I think something that I haven't realized, but I think we should all start to realize, is we are going to be living in a world of super patients and super doctors. Primarily, what we used to do with them was connect over an exchange of information, and based on that, we would create a relationship. Nowadays, what's happening with AI, you probably heard about it this morning several times, is they will get all the information that they need, and it won't be from us. So if we don't engage first with digital, giving them the information that they need, we are going to fall flat, because the basis of interacting with them is not going to be information anymore, it's going to be a relationship.
Very nice. And can you respond on behalf of humans, Erasmus? Why should humans be the ones to achieve customer acquisition and growth?
So I think HAL 9000 has some good points. There's a few nerds that got that, thank you. And I've seen a lot of campaigns throughout the years as well, digital campaigns. And honestly, when my job first, 6 years ago coming in, I had digital transformation in my title. So I've seen a number of campaigns. But to be quite honest, when we're doing a launch, and it's $1 million product, and I have maybe 25 real prescribers, none of them are sitting and looking for a proactive AI-driven omni-channel campaign. They're not sitting and waiting for that. None of them. They're sitting and waiting for the real human interaction, the human engagement, that you spend the time and you build the trust and confidence in your product. You have the face-to-face interaction. That's how you acquire the customers. That's where you build the long-term relationships. And even more facts, by the way. So 88% of HCPs report trusting a product more when recommended by a knowledgeable human being than through digital means. So that deep product understanding and tailored support for growth with the customer, helping them along the way, is how we will be successful also for any kind of product launches and customer acquisition of the very complex products that we have in the future, because it is becoming more complex. And simply, digital AI is not there yet to be able to drive that.
Interesting. So on the one hand, we feel that maybe professionals don't have the time or want to engage with pharma representatives. On the other hand, maybe they do trust them and they want that kind of meaningful relationship in order to make their decisions. So yeah, I think there's good, compelling arguments both ways so far for the engagement journey. But we've also got some other factors to consider here, okay? So what about ROI? Okay, so we talked about we've got a lot of money to spend. We've got we've got targets to meet. Return on investment is very important. We've got to make sure that the cost and the impact is well balanced. So maybe we can start with you this time, Erasmus. Why do you feel that like a human-centered approach to engagement with people is more cost-effective and has a better return on investment for a brand?
I think I know Ultron will come with some great arguments on why it's cheaper, right? Why digital is cheaper. And I'm often told, and maybe many of you are as well, like, Erasmus, the most expensive channel you have is your sales reps. What are you doing with them? And it's probably true as well. But they also have, for me, and it's not honestly, real relationships equals real returns. That's how I see it these days. And I'm not sure in the end it's really about return on investment, it's return on influence. So the influence that you have these days is really, really impactful. So they're priceless in the end, relationships. And I have some stories also from my own background that I've seen some campaigns, 100,000 euros, 6 months, 12 clicks, right? And then it's always, oh, look, we had 1.5 million views. Yeah, because you bought them on Facebook. So it's not because nobody actually watched it. So I don't know. I do still feel that real relationships equals real returns. And I've seen some different sales reps across the years where we had ACPs call them on multiple different things that had actually nothing to do even with the product. They built that relationship through years and were loyal against the product and the brand through those real relationships. So for me, it's the real return on influence is what ROI should be about. And there are a lot of hidden costs on digital as well, to be honest. There's a lot of people that you have to hire. There's a lot of skills that you have to base into the organization, which is not easy, very costly. We heard a debate very earlier where Carla said, just fire all of them and rehire them if they don't know. That's also quite costly, by the way, in terms of impact. So, and I think there's a few companies that's been through some very heavy restructuring over the last few years. And that's cost. There's a lot of cost into that. So stick with the things that that really works, which is return on influence.
Okay, good. So you got the stronger, more engaged, fewer relationships can be more profitable than wider, more fickle ones, perhaps. Let's see. So how do you respond to that?
So I fully agree with my extremely tall competitor. I think it's time that we start figuring out, yes, that argument is fully valid. I've heard the same, that digital is cheaper than human, and it's not. Because to raise the same level of influence, as you said, you need to put way more investment, and also is more a way of a crowded space. Now, what I think is going to change, and I don't think that we realize still how that's going to change, is we are in a world today, which we talked about omnichannel, and a lot of people started talking about omnichannel disappearing. We have these interactions with different touch points, so do HCPs. I think we're all going to go back to conversion. So my friend called me Ultron. So if you've seen, Jarvis, the guy from the Iron Man, I have absolutely no doubt that each and any one of us, and so our HCPs and patients, will have their own Jarvis, the only channel they will use to interact with everything. So if we don't get there, if we don't get kind of into that relationship, get insights from there, what are they talking about? What are their fears? Which information do they need? We're completely going to miss out on actually having a good relationship with them. So yes, my keyword for today is Jarvis.
All right, excellent. So you've heard about a bit of the customer journey. You've heard about return on investment. Let's follow the theme of the meeting and talk about how things will evolve over the next couple of years. So obviously, technology will change. We've already had AI in the last couple of years, which has transformed things. But also, situations will change. Like, maybe health services will become under more strain. Like, there will be differences in the medical communities. How do you think that, your more digital-focused approach is going to support that evolution? How will digital remain the most relevant driver of customer engagement going forward?
Yeah. Can I ask a question? If you raise your hands, who here likes taking meeting notes? Who here likes to send follow-up emails? So I think we were in this discussion of either or, but I do think some tasks that we have been doing for the last 20 years, they're simply not worth it. They're what I call brute force. Anyone can do it. So I think we have an opportunity not to be either digital or human, but we actually have an opportunity to get rid of work that actually doesn't matter so much, to actually interact more with humans. So paradoxically, I think AI is here to make us more human, and I think that's going to translate into customer engagement.
So interestingly supportive of humans, but still driving that enablement. What about you?
I actually agree with the Borg. No, it is true, honestly, right? That it is, we are here to make it a little bit fun, and we are here to put it towards the edges. And I think that's fair. But I think in the end, it will be a combination. AI is here and digital is here to support us and support our journey. I think we need to be smart in terms of we just need to do really good marketing and sales in the very end. That's what it's all about. And sometimes you can have an amazing digital campaign that is targeting a lot of people, that is just on Facebook or on Instagram. And sometimes you need a very deep personal engagement with some really competent medical and salespeople to drive that business forward. It really depends on what is your product, which market are you in, what is the life cycle, and how can you mix the two things. The mistake you can make is that you just think everything should be digital from the beginning, or everything should be sales-led from the beginning, and then you end up with not the best results. Or you always start with an omni-channel campaign, which is, I think, is also a mistake, or opti-channel, sorry, Dario. But it should really be the hybrid way of thinking. I think that's also what is going to be the future, that things is going to be converging more, because do agree, I don't want to, there's a lot of manual tasks I don't want to do, but on the other hand, I don't want to spam people AI-generated content every single day. We have to find the right balance, and it's just, in the end, just becoming as customer-centric as you can, using both your human resources and your digital resources.
Okay, very interesting. So since we've got a little bit of time, I'm probably going to add an extra little question into both of you.
We're also going to see who's winning, right?
Yeah, we will see. Like maybe we can.
Full disclaimer: it's my birthday, so.
Yeah. All right, so let me give you guys one more question to help the audience make their decision. So I'll start with you, Erasmus. So you talk about like human relationships and the importance of the human relationships, and that digital can support that. But I'm wondering. We had a good example with Lego just before, like it was an excellent presentation, just demonstrating someone on the stage, like classic of Lego, to talk about something that's valuable to everybody, but no one's talking about how good the brick is, how sticky it is, how much better it is than the other bricks. But you're still going to choose that brand if you can see that they offer educational opportunities for business workshops, movies, fun, entertainment. Do you not think it's possible that you can drive a human connection with a brand through digital rather than having to have the people there at all? That's my challenging question for you for the end.
I think, I'm going to take the easy way out. It says it depends. A specific type of doctor and for a specific product, absolutely. And we have a huge vaccines business. And it's absolutely true that in that area where we do mass marketing on a specific brand, we can. On some other very specialized products, I'm not sure. And I arrive to customers, and sometimes they don't even know what the brand name is, to be quite honest. Even the biggest brand that's in the history of the world, I arrive, and they don't even know what the brand name is. They just know the molecule. And they don't care. So I think it really depends on the situation and on the doctor, and also maybe on how old they are, to be quite honest. I've also had visits where someone said, now we need to show them this new AR headset, and we're going to bring them to the metaverse, and they couldn't even open a browser. So let's balance things out and says, I'm going to end up with my answer. It depends. It can, but it really depends. Yeah, interesting. And it wouldn't be fair if I didn't throw like a random question in to you as well, Marco. So I guess on the other hand, you can have all these digital experiences, but is it realistic that a clinician will only use digital information and content to make a decision when it's so complex? There's multiple factors involved in that decision-making about the patient. Or do you think that when they do engage in that content, to have a real person behind that question, instead of just getting an automated response or pointing towards some specific information, do you not think that having someone with experience to talk them through and answer their questions and reassure them is not an additional advantage that should drive better engagement and trust?
Yeah, I'll give an example of something they're doing in schools. I don't know if you know Canmigo from Sal Khan Academy. Basically, it's a school, it's a lab. And they did exactly that. They give to every student, they gave an AI tutor. And the question was, what is the role of the teacher? Is the teacher known anymore? And what happened was quite interesting. So instead of asking questions to the teacher first, they started asking to their own tutor. And the effect for the teacher was they would only go to her when it was really needed, when you could have that information. And I think here is going to be the same. Of course, right now, it's so easy to be overwhelmed with all the information. And I think we need to face the fact that pharma is going to accelerate 5 times. Probably 2 times on the development side, 10 times on the commercial side. So the pace of producing information will be much faster. So I'm not saying that humans won't be needed. I'm just saying that a lot of that first digestion of information will be done through digital in a very condensed way, and then they will come to the human. Yeah. And happy birthday, birthday boy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday. Okay, then. If you haven't voted already again, please can I urge you to get on the app and just do one more last chance. If you've changed your mind or you haven't voted at all so far, please have a final chance at looking at that, and let's just...
But the answer is, that should be a third option, right? Should be
third
both.
option. Okay, but there is a third option. Can I just see, like, okay, we've got this here, and we'll crown a victor in a second. But can I just see, like, who in the room would prefer a third option, which is that both should drive this engagement together? Maybe we can have a cheer for that if you agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So I think... And we've seen some change in digital as well, so it's much closer.
It'll be 50-50.
So I think...
It's also my birthday.
Yeah, so let's see, does that change? All right, let's see who's going to be the winner. And do you know what? I'm going to give it to you both because I think you both did a great job, and I think everyone would choose both if we could. So thank you, guys. Shake hands.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Well done, guys. Thank you, everyone.